Let me start with a situation that almost no one prepares you for. You don't become arrogant. You don't flex. You don't even talk about money much. But somehow, the room feels different now. The jokes hit differently. The invitations feel colder. The encouragement sounds forced. And sometimes, silence replaces celebration. Most wealth tension doesn't start when you get rich. It starts when you outgrow the financial identity your friends are comfortable with. The real question is, what does your growth quietly trigger inside them? And by the end of this video, you'll understand not only the signs, but how to move through them without guilt, without shrinking yourself, and without burning bridges you may still value. If you're ready to break through barriers and achieve greatness, hit that subscribe button. We're here to support your journey to success. Sign 1. They stop asking you for advice, even though you're more qualified now. Earlier, they asked you how you budgeted, how you invested, how you landed that opportunity. Now, nothing. It's not because they suddenly figured everything out. It's because asking you would confirm something they're avoiding, that you've become a reference point they didn't expect. Research in workplace psychology shows that people often avoid advice from peers who outperform them financially because it activates feelings of inadequacy. The brain reads advice as hierarchy confirmation. Here's where most people misinterpret the situation. They assume they don't care or they're not interested in growth. But often, the truth is more uncomfortable. Listening to you reminds them of what they postponed. So they protect their ego by disengaging. The mistake many successful people make here is trying to force value, offering help that isn't asked for, explaining strategies unprompted. That usually backfires and deepens the distance. A quieter approach works better. Live the lesson without teaching it. Let your behavior, not your explanations, be the proof. The moment you stop chasing validation, your energy shifts. And interestingly, that's often when curiosity returns. Sign 2, they encourage you to relax, just when you're building momentum, right when you're focused, right when things are compounding, right when discipline matters most. They say things like, don't work so much. Money isn't everything. Enjoy life a little. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Those statements often say more about their relationship with effort than yours. Psychologically, this is called value realignment. When someone feels they can't match your consistency, they attempt to reframe discipline as obsession, so they don't feel behind. The mistake successful people make is internalizing this and dulling their edge, missing sessions, delaying decisions, losing rhythm. But history shows a different pattern. Long-term wealth is rarely built during bursts of motivation. It's built during seasons when consistency looks boring to outsiders. A key insight from behavioral finance is that people underestimate slow, disciplined actions because they lack emotional excitement. So when someone encourages you to slow down, ask yourself if they're protecting your balance or their comfort. The grounding question becomes, would this advice help the version of me I'm trying to become? True growth sometimes looks antisocial before it looks admirable. And once they realize you're not slowing down, something shifts in how they talk about your wins. Number 3, your success gets compared instead of celebrated. You share a milestone. Instead of, that's amazing, you hear, well, at least you don't have kids. Yeah, but the market helped. Someone else did even better. Comparison is rarely about facts. It's about restoring emotional balance. People cope with upward comparison by immediately searching for a counterweight, something that evens the scale emotionally. The danger isn't their comparison. It's how you respond to it. Many people start downplaying their achievements to keep the peace. They minimize the sacrifice, the risk, the discipline. Over time, this trains your mind to associate success with discomfort. A healthier response is neutral ownership, no bragging, no shrinking, just calm acknowledgement. Wealth grows best when pride is quiet and self-anchored, not externally negotiated. Sign 4. They suddenly moralize wealth around you. You'll notice phrases like, money changes people, rich people lose values, simple life is better. These beliefs often surface when wealth becomes emotionally threatening. People tend to moralize outcomes they feel excluded from. It helps them preserve self-worth by reframing lack as virtue. The mistake here is arguing, debating, trying to prove that money can be ethical, meaningful, or well used. You don't need to win that conversation. You need to transcend it. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it amplifies who you already are. People uncomfortable with money often project corruption onto it to avoid confronting their own financial avoidance. Ask yourself this quietly. Am I becoming wiser or just louder in defending myself? The most powerful response to moralization is living with integrity, not explaining it. And once morality fails to shrink you, the relationship dynamic itself begins to change. Sign 5. Their compliments start sounding like backhanded jokes. At first it sounds harmless. Must be nice. Some people have all the luck. Easy for you to say. But pay attention to the tone, not the words. When financial growth creates an invisible distance, admiration often disguises itself as humor. Psychologically, this is a defense mechanism. When someone feels left behind, their mind tries to regain balance by minimizing your effort or attributing your progress to chance. The problem isn't the joke. The problem is what the joke protects them from feeling. People experience discomfort when someone close rises faster than them because it challenges their internal narrative of fairness, especially if they believe they worked just as hard. When you shrink your story to soothe someone else's insecurity, you teach yourself that success requires apology. Instead, calm confidence works better than justification. You don't defend your progress. You don't overshare. You simply acknowledge the comment and move on. Sign 6. Invitations become conditional or inconsistent. You notice it slowly. Fewer invites, last-minute plans, different energy. Not because you changed, but because your presence reminds them of a gap they didn't plan for. Social research shows that people unconsciously distance themselves from peers who highlight their stagnation, not out of hatred, but self-protection. The mistake many people make is chasing closeness, over-initiating, paying more, adjusting themselves to fit old comfort zones. But growth often requires accepting a new social frequency. Here's the reframing question. Is this distance punishment or alignment? Sometimes space isn't rejection, it's redirection. And what replaces old proximity isn't loneliness, it's room. Room for new conversations, new standards, new mirrors. But before that happens, one final sign appears, the most dangerous one of all. Sign 7. They start questioning whether you really deserve it. This is the point where the tone changes from jokes and distance to something quieter and far more dangerous. Instead of sarcasm or silence, you start hearing concern dressed up as realism. Are you sure this will last? Markets go up and down. Anyone can get lucky once. On the surface, it sounds like advice. Underneath, it's uncertainty aimed directly at your sense of worth. What's actually happening here is psychological resistance. When people have known you in a certain role for years, your financial growth disrupts the mental hierarchy they've built. Their mind struggles to reconcile the old version of you with the new results you're producing. So instead of updating their perception, they downgrade the achievement. If your success is temporary, then their identity stays intact. The most grounding question you can ask yourself here is simple. If no one knew my past and only saw my habits, would my results still make sense? When the answer is yes, other people's doubt loses its grip. You no longer need reassurance that you belong where you are. Sign 8. They become strangely curious about your failures, not your wins. This sign is subtle, and that's why most people miss it. Your successes get quick acknowledgments, polite nods, or topic changes. But the moment something doesn't go perfectly, an investment that underperforms, a deal that takes longer than expected, a plan that hits resistance, the curiosity suddenly spikes. Questions come fast. Details matter now. There's an unusual level of interest in what went wrong. This isn't genuine concern. It's psychological relief. A quieter, stronger move is selective transparency. You don't hide failure, but you don't dramatize it either. You treat setbacks as data points, not identity statements. Calm, factual, contained. This signals emotional maturity and reinforces that your trajectory isn't defined by temporary turbulence. The deeper transformation here is learning that not everyone who leans in during your struggles is rooting for your recovery. Some are just waiting to feel comfortable again. When you stop feeding that comfort and stay anchored in long-term thinking, you protect not just your wealth, but your momentum. The biggest transformation isn't your bank balance. It's your internal posture. You stop explaining. You stop shrinking. You stop seeking permission to grow. You realize that some people don't hate your success. They're grieving the version of themselves they didn't become. And that's not your burden. Money doesn't isolate you. Misalignment does. Growth doesn't cost relationships. Resistance to change does. I'm grateful for the chance to share these insights with you. If this video made a difference, like it, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more powerful tips. If you're curious about 8 daily money habits that make you rich, that's exactly what I cover in the next video. See you there.